lost, there's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Hello, StarCraft fans. I am Nioken, joined by Raz. We are in the semi-finals of the finals of the losers bracket. We've got Bonyth versus Dewalt. You know, I have a lot of PvP knowledge. I know Reavers are good. I know those DTs, they hit for 40 damage. But I think Raz might have a little bit more insight into PvP, so we brought him on.
Thank goodness. I mean, you ain't wrong. DTs do 40 damage. You're ready. I've seen you PvP on the ladder, and a high win rate for you.
Yeah, high win rate running those DTs around into carriers, PvP. You think carriers are only good in PvT? I can prove to you that they are good in all matchups. But I have a feeling that we're not going to see any carriers in this particular series.
Unfortunately, no. I don't think we're going to see any one base carriers or DT into two base carrier. I don't think that's going to be on the menu today, but you never know. We'll leave it open for the players.
Yeah, wasn't there a guy, like a Chinese player, was it last season or the season before? It was
yes,
that two-player map that he went one base carrier. That was nuts.
Against Dewalt, he tried to pull out the one base carrier. So maybe Bonyth watched the replay, and then he could steal it, try to pull it out. It didn't work out for him, but he tried.
Yeah, well, this is a rematch of earlier in the bracket. It's Bonyth versus Dewalt. Bonyth got the best of Dewalt 3-2 in that series. Bonyth almost made it into the finals yesterday versus Mihu, up 3-1 in the series, but Mihu making the big comeback. Actually I thought it could have been a 4-0. So Bonyth looking to prove that he should have been the one in the finals today, but Dewalt, he wants to get his revenge. Historically, it seems like Bonyth always has Dewalt's number, but maybe finally in season 17, Dewalt can overcome his nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, I think them playing a series a little while ago will help Dewalt. He's practicing diligently. He'll be looking at those replays. I think one thing I hope that he'll steer away from today is trying to play into more of Bonyth's hand. I thought in their last series, he was the aggressor. He tried to have all those little micro battles, which I think is more Bonyth's strength. Dewalt playing later into the game, the multitask, the macro, I think is where his strength really and truly lies. So hopefully he'll want to push his game that way. And for Bonyth, I guess you just hope what happened last time happens again. You play your game, you get to those little small scraps, and you try to pull out the win.
Yeah, you don't care if the scoreboard says 3-0 or 3-2. As long as you're moving on, that's all that matters. So I agree. Bonyth just needs to do Bonyth things and just get his usual victory versus Dewalt. Right now, since it is live from Europe, we are waiting for players to make bans and get it. Or actually, there's no bans because it's best of 7. I forgot. Basically, we're just waiting for players to get into the game so we can get going.
Yeah, they'll pick their maps, see which players want to do. I think we'll see DeWalt go for more of the 4-player maps. Bonyth maybe going more for the 2-player maps, even though he really didn't select many that last time. But I think we'll see that from him as well. We know the 2-player maps open us up to different strategies, and we're going to see some proxy gates or some other nonsense. You never know here. PvP, we all know how that gets quickly.
Yeah, yesterday I had to do a double take. I saw 2-gate in our main twice. I'm looking at the players. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not PvP. That's PvT. We're 2-gating PvT. So, you know, Bonyth could pull out something crazy again today. Maybe we could see multiple 2-gates.
Yeah, I mean, 2-gate yesterday was interesting. I wonder if it's a counter to gasless. Maybe he thought Mihu would do some gasless play, so he was trying to catch him off guard, which really interesting. Maybe a new meta incoming. But here are our map selections. As I kind of figured, wow, Polypoid by Dewalt, and then Invader, and then into Retro. I would expect someone like Dewalt to pick both Polypoid and Retro. Once again, Nyokin Bonyth picking Shooting Break.
Yeah, yesterday he picked it early, and you knew he had to have something planned, and I think this is a good pick from him. You know, Dewalt, having seen the game yesterday, may have thought, okay, well, Bonyth wasn't going to pick Shooting Break, but then it got pulled out, and now all of a sudden, let's say Dewalt didn't practice on Shooting Break, which, you know, I don't believe, but now he's got to scramble to practice this particular map because Bonyth clearly likes it, so I think this is a good map to pick, and pick it early on. If you go up, you know, 3-1 in the series, that's hard to come back from.
Unless you're Mihu, yeah.
Unless you're Mihu.
Then it doesn't matter. You're still going to make it happen. Yeah, I think Bombs likes Apocalypse, definitely a good engagement map there. We're trying to fight uphill. Those players played there. I remember their game last time. Both of them went with a 3-gate. We saw a lot of 3-gates last time between these two. It'd be interesting to see what, since they've played a series, what builds they will choose. Like, will they change their mindset from last time? Will they continue just doing what they're doing? I feel like these players are both capable of anything, so who knows which way they're going to go.
I would actually like to see some DTs from Bonyth today, and the reason I say that is because yesterday there were a couple times where I was thinking to myself, DT drop could have been viable versus Mihu, someone who gets comsat, you know, for 10 minutes, and yesterday with him not pulling it out one time, Dewalt may be thinking like, okay, you know, this guy's he just doesn't build the DT, he's just Reaver Goon, man, and you know, that's fine in ADT, but I'd like to see Bonyth in particular just bring it to Dewalt one game and say, hey, don't forget that I know how to hit that K button, bro, so you gotta be careful, make sure you don't, you know, misstep with an observer, because you could get punished.
Those invisible men really can come in and ruin someone's day, so maybe Bonyth will pull it out. Do you think that Dewalt's thinking a little bit the same? Maybe he should try some DT play? I mean, we really don't see too much from him either, but Bonyth always going Robo. Like, I mean, if I was Dewalt, maybe just trying to abuse the fact that Bonyth always goes Robo, but maybe throw some DT in there.
Yeah, I think DT could be definitely very strong from either player, but we just got the word that we're ready for game one. So let's get into our epic loser bracket finals. It's Bonyth versus Dewalt, a rematch from earlier in the bracket. Okay, in the top right, BSL King and Legend, it's Bonyth.
And in the bottom left, the Protoss looking for his revenge. It's Dewalt. So cross spawn here to start Nyokin. I know Bonyth does like to do a 10-12. He did not do it at all in the last series with these two. But this would not be optimal now if he decides that he wants to try that.
Oh yeah, definitely you don't want to be twin 12ing cross map. But, you know, Bonyth's always strong with the micro in the early game. I could see him making, you know, the Bonyth magic with the, or make it happen with the stutter step on the Zealots. We are going to just see normal pylon. I was getting hopeful that maybe it would be forward, but not going to be the case.
Yeah, both players just kind of put a normal pylon. You see Dewalt with that pylon probably means we're just going to see gas from him, nothing super crazy. Same thing from Bonyth. Usually he'll put his gateways a little bit forward so he can get his zealots out quicker.
Well, you know, I've heard on the interwebs on Twitch that 12 Nexus only happens when they're cross spawn. But as I say that, doesn't look like we're going to get 12 Nexus from either side.
Both player cams here. High level stuff coming in here from Mr. Zero. Both players, cams live. We see Bonyth there on the bottom right and DeWalt at the top left cam. Both players just getting the gas now. Pretty similar builds so far.
Yep, gas timing pretty much identical, I think. I saw DeWalt build an additional probe before the gas, but I don't think that it has really any impact in build order and PvP, because the timing looked identical. Now, something that does have impact is this probe scout. It's going to be a little bit less mining per Bonyth. However, if he finds DeWalt before his zealot gets out, then he gets some intel, which is obviously massive in PvP.
Yeah, if he can get the first scout, always really big, right? Getting all that information. And what he's going to notice is the cross map spawns, right? So he might say to himself, you know what, I could, if I want to greed here a little bit, I can. If he can get his scout in, he might be able to do something like a 1-gate Nexus and a 3-gate and take some of those eco advantages. Both of their cores almost exactly the same timing here.
Well, here comes that probe. There's the zealot from Bonyth. And the zealot comes out for DeWalt, but you ain't on the ramp, bro. So if he was going to go 1-base DT, he can't do it anymore.
That build's over, Nyokin. No hope for that.
Nope.
Unless he fakes it and goes with some air weapons and then cancels, you know? Could always go with that route.
I've done that a few times in my life. Look at this scout timing. You like this scout timing? This is like a 245 scout. What's this?
This is pretty good right here. This is solid. He's going to be able to see everything. He knows that he's going to have an advantage. DeWalt, I think, is going to be forced into robotics here, Nyokin, because he doesn't know what Bonyth's doing, but he knows the timing, I guess, because he's going cross-map right away.
Yeah. What I meant was I'm skeptical of this DeWalt scout timing, because what do you really see with this? I mean, you just intercepted a goon, and it's going to die. It doesn't even get to see the ramp. I guess it gets to see a goon, so he knows it's not fast Nexus. But other than that, oh, he's interception. Oh, but he's
Oh no!
He's focusing the probe, but look out, bro! The goon's shooting your goon.
Oh, and he's gonna lose his probe now. At least he didn't lose any actual health. Then he loses his probe for his troubles. So Nyokin 245 scout helps you get all the shields of the other goon. Apparently, that's what we just saw there.
Okay.
That's how we get it done.
I didn't know that.
Take some notes. Robotics there from Bonyth, same from DeWalt. Right now, both players just mirror builds, man. Mirror builds.
Yep. Very, very similar. DeWalt's up 1 worker. I think it's just because of that fast scout and slightly faster gas. Other than that, pretty much identical. Even the money is the same. The gas is exactly the same. Everything is exactly the same robo timing. I mean, look at the pylon. He puts up a pylon on the edge of his base. Bonyth already has one going up too. Literally, it's just identical.
They must be studying the same replays. I'm a little surprised, to be honest, Nyokin, that we didn't see something a little bit more greedy because of the positions, that both players are playing 2-gate robo and not something with a faster Nexus here, knowing that the distance between base to base is the furthest it can be. Maybe players just kind of filling each other out right now, don't want to do anything too wild to start, just want to get in a normal game, but sometimes taking those risks can help out a bit.
Yeah, I think if anyone should have taken the risk, it should have been Bonyth, because he's the one that actually got intel. DeWalt got nothing. He saw a goon, so I can't blame him for going not just robo, but also robo straight into observer, because it could be anything. And we do have DeWalt poking with just 2 goons, but again, what does this spot? It doesn't really spot much. It spots 3 goons. Like, this could be 3-gate, and you're just hiding your goons. It could be Nexus, it could be Reaver, it could still be anything. Still, DeWalt has no idea what this is, but he feels comfortable enough to take a Nexus regardless.
Yeah, I agree. We're not seeing anything. We have no intel, but we're just going for it, and that's sometimes PvP is what you need to do. Just put down a Nexus and sit back and absorb some pressure. I mean, most of the time with a 2-gate robo, you can absorb most builds, but if you're right, if this was a 3-gate, this timing would be hitting about now, and he'd be dead.
He'd be super dead. Like, he has 5 goons and a zealot. I'm pretty sure he would have, or Bonyth would have, at least a couple more goons over that. We've got the Reaver coming out at a similar time to Bonyth. I saw Bonyth already has the shuttle, though, so that's obviously going to be in his favor, but I've seen players defend with just a battery, so that could be something that DeWalt will build if he smells a Reaver drop coming.
Yeah, Bonds was looking for that observer. He was trying to sneak it before it got into his base, but DeWalt went on a good path, and now DeWalt's going to have full intel. And he should know, hey, this guy really has to do some sort of attack, right? We went 2-gate, Robo. He must have made a shuttle. He has no Nexus. Where did all the extra minerals go? Well, he's coming across the map now. So he knows that if he holds this, there's the shield battery. He is way ahead.
Yep, and that one goon on the high ground, I love that also. Not only does it, not only is it easily in a defensive spot, but it also, forces goons to shoot with that 50% uphill chance. Means they're less effective. But here comes that Reaver, and if there's still no shuttle for DeWalt. Looks like Bonyth's army is just way bigger. However, the shuttle, the
Reaver!
It gets instantly killed, and that means that this is donezo. He didn't even use his shield battery. That Reaver is full. He kills the Observer. This is a massive win for DeWalt. However, he is attacking in the high ground, but he don't care because he's got so many more goons left over.
It don't matter, man. We killed the Reaver, we killed the Observer, now we're pushing it across the map. That was a major win there for DeWalt in game number 1.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Bonyth, well known for his micro, but sometimes it's just not your moment, and he really misstepped there with the shuttle and Reaver control, and he gets punished immediately. And you cannot have micro like that versus someone like DeWalt, because he will abuse that. He will counter instantly, or take a third base. He could do, and this is very lopsided in DeWalt's favor now.
Yeah, right there. I mean, his probe count should be higher because he had a Nexus faster. He's gonna have more tech, more gates. Everything's gonna be up for him. Bonyth's definitely in a hole here. He's gonna have to figure a way to get back. The nice thing about PvP on this map is if he can get to his third and draw the game out, he can kind of defend and get some shuttle harass. But DeWalt doesn't want to get there, I think. I think we're going to see him now start to siege the natural of Bonyth.
Yeah, even if Bonyth somehow snipes the shuttle, like let's say the shuttle gets sniped. Okay, well I was going to say I don't even know if he would win the fight, even if the Reavers died. But now that I see double Reaver out for him too, he will survive if he can get some miracle pickoff. But the chances of that happening is so slim. Here we go. We're going to have DeWalt now with the shuttle advantage. And Bonyth's going to have to micro his heart out here.
Yeah, he's just going to come in here, hit as much. He's going to take this pilot down first just so the AI doesn't get bugged out. Ooh!
Oh, okay.
Got a shot there from Bonyth. Got to be careful. Shot coming in. Ooh, sneaks a couple probes. Well done from him. It looks like... Wow, that connected again. Yeah.
Yeah, this is... good connections from Bonyth, and actually I think it's smart for DeWalt to just turn around. Bonyth is someone that heavily focuses on micro. He's always watching his Reaver, always watching his shuttle. So just back off. Just build up your macro. You've got a lead right now. No reason to try and, out micro Bonyth, because that's just not going to happen most likely.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about this is that we know that DeWalt's multitask is just so strong that maybe he's trying to let Bonyth micro A-task him a little bit so that he can multitask himself back at his base. But right now, that doesn't look like that's happening. It looks like the total opposite. It looks like DeWalt's leaking off units and takes another shot on his Reaver.
Yeah,
needs to be careful here.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I realize you've got good micro, DeWalt. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But Bonyth, he's just the man when it comes to the Reaver. He trades 3 goons for just shuttle damage. That, I don't got my notebook for that, but I'm pretty sure that's not worth.
Last time I checked, not worth. Math doesn't add up. Oh
Man.
My goodness.
He might even lose the shuttle at this point. Now, those Reavers, they've lost so much damage that they've actually taken HP hits. So he can't even retreat to the shield battery and, heal them all up to full. Like, they're going to get killed if they take one more shot.
Yeah, and we see Bonyth on 3 Reavers already. He's probably going to go for a 4th, the double shuttle. Oh my goodness, he loses the Reaver.
That one will die also if another one lands. The wall, like, supplies are, where they were a moment ago. There's about a 20 supply lead, but that's what it was just a few seconds ago. I don't think he's really getting an advantage by doing this, but he is. That's
oh my
dude.
Goodness.
I told you, don't do this. Just macro.
He's playing with fire now, and he can't help himself. He wants to show that he can out micro Bonyth, and right now that it's not going well. Not at all. That 20 supply lead is now cut down to 10. I wonder if either player upgraded the Reaver damage because Bonyth's going with 4 Reavers. A lot of times when you're going with 4 Reavers, you get that damage upgrade also. That way when you push, your Reavers just are crazy.
Yeah, I've seen more and more players get that Reaver upgrade damage, not just in PvP, but also PvZ. Even Protoss versus Terran, I've seen them do it so that they can pop those depots in 2 volleys. Here he comes again.
Is he going for it, man?
What? Oh, was that in the main? What was that? Was that a fake, or what was that move?
It was empty. We got a fake. But now we're going in here, and our goons are all... Oh, my goodness! Both Reavers go down! And has he done it?
Holy smokes. Oh, in the hot pickup right before it connects. But that one Reaver, he is going to be strong. However...
Oh my goodness! The probes! We went from 60 to 4. Oh my goodness! The damage is now definitely done, Iogen. Those 2 Reaver shots exploded that entire line. And GG from Bonyth.
Oh my gosh, that shuttle in the main, I didn't even see it walk in. I just see it get cornered on the side of the map, and I'm like, did we just int off 2 more Reavers, man? But it was a fake. It drew all the units out of it drew some of the units out of position, but really drew Bonyth's attention away, and that was perfect timing. And obviously the bowling ball with the strike into the probe line, absolutely amazing.
My goodness, that was just so much explosion of probes at once. It was like fireworks in the mineral line. My goodness, that had to be at least 25 probes that just went down at once. So Dewalt, though he was playing with fire now, he was able to finally walk into that natural and give the killing blow. So well done from him, and he starts this series off 1-0.
Yeah, what's funny is probably after Bonyth killed those 2 Reavers, he was probably like, a sigh of relief, like, okay, we're good now. I've done it. I'm probably still slightly behind, but I'm not that far behind. But man, what a move there from Dewalt. I mean, we have full vision. I didn't even see it at all, so I can't even imagine Bonyth seeing it come in there. But that's an important win. Getting game 1 always important. In ASL, there's a stat that says the player that gets the first win in the finals has a 100% win rate of winning the best of 7. So obviously very important here.
That's a pretty good percentage to have when you win the first map. Pretty good, I got to be honest.
Yeah, pretty damn
I also
good.
think just get you on a good roll, right? Get you in stride. You feel good. You took map number 1. I'm sure there's probably a little bit of nerves for both of these players. I know they've been here before, but to secure that first game kind of puts you, I think, in the driver's seat a little bit more. But Bonyth's no stranger to adversity here. He knows what he has to do. He's confident. He saw that his micro was really good against Dewalt's Reavers. Got to be feeling good about that. It's just that first attack put him in such a hole. I don't think he could have really dug out from.
That was a little bit of a blunder there. Something you basically never see from Bonyth. I'm sure he knows that, if that doesn't happen, and, the same thing happens where Dewalt ints off his 2 Reavers, Bonyth is in an amazing spot. So I'm sure he'll plug that hole up. We've got Apocalypse as our second map. I think this map is just so perfectly designed for Bonyth. He's so good with the shuttles. He's so good with the Reaver. This feels like a good Bonyth map, but we'll see what happens. Can Dewalt go up 2-0 in the series? Will we have a tied score? All right, in the top middle, up 1-0, it is Dewalt.
And in the bottom left, it's Bonyth. Now, right away, I think advantage to Dewalt for the spawns here, Iogen. Just because his base is more facing that main of Bonyth, his shuttles have a little bit easier of a route to get in there.
That is definitely the case, and I'm looking at chat from last game. Somebody just mentioned that they think Bonyth transferred all his probes to the natural because of the fake shuttle. You could have been right. Those 2 Scarabs could have gotten like 30 probe kills.
There was a lot of fireworks, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I was looking at, as soon as it happened, I looked at the supply and I saw it said like 45. I really wish I could have caught it before it could have connected, because I would have loved to see the supply just immediately drop 30 points.
Remember those old replays of the programs that would tell you multi-kill and how many workers? I think we would have seen a very high number in
Yeah.
Big multi-kill.
Yeah, the Unreal Tournament voice comes out. It's godlike and stuff like that.
That would have been it right there. That definitely would have been godlike for sure.
Well, this map doesn't have I don't think it has buildable terrain in the middle, does it? So
It
T-Gate's
does.
not. Oh, it does. Okay.
It does. Yes.
It's a different.
Right there.
It's different than what is it, Ascension in that sense. So actually, I was thinking, it's a 3-player map. What if you were to proxy 2-gate, like not necessarily in the middle, but like gamble, like at mid left, you just build from there. First off, it wouldn't get scouted, and obviously the rush distance is ridiculously close.
You can. I mean, I've seen players do it where they just kind of split the map, put it in between the two. Even if you went to like where Bonyth's natural 4th would be and dropped them there, and you could either walk up and around or just to the left, you could gamble and do something like that. That's definitely viable. Obviously, they haven't done that, but that could be on the table.
When I played ladder a long time ago versus, I think it was Sugo in the ladder, he did that to me. It was Circuit Breakers. He just proxied it at bottom middle of the map, and he got lucky and scouted me first, and I thought to myself, wow, man, what a build. I could hear the Artosis voice coming out. I'm like, what a player, what a move.
Yep, that's a normal PvP on the ladder.
Well,
nothing new there.
Well, I see we've got, again, mirrored builds here. Both players with the Zealot, both players straight Cybernetics. Didn't see either player use their gas for, the Citadel or range, but looks like Bonyth has, or no, actually Dewalt is at the top, and he has range coming in.
Yeah, the last time both players went 3-gate on this map, and Dewalt waited for Bonyth to walk up to the high ground, then ended up taking the lead that way. So I'm curious if both players are going to try a 3-gate, or knowing that, will they show range and then put a DT? Bonyth going to the second gateway at 21. Going to have that 4-goon pressure.
Yeah, this is a really fast second gate. A lot of times I see Robo into second gate, but Bonyth really wants to bring it to Dewalt this game. The probe gets in again, and he sees, hey, not only do you not have a Robo, you don't have a second gate either. So he will have a moment of opportunity.
Never mind. I thought he was saving up money for a Nexus here. I thought he was going to go with 1-gate Nexus. I was like, man, he may be dead from this 21-gate second gate. Because right now, this build gives you a timing, right? When you get 4 goons and your Zealot, you move out across the map because range will be finished and you should be up a Dragoon or like a half Dragoon. Like there should be one building in the opponent's base. So there is a timing, but we see here that 3-gate Robo from Dewalt. So he will, if Bonyth doesn't hit that timing perfectly, Dewalt will have that extra Dragoon in production. He'll be able to push this back pretty easy.
Yeah, it's literally just one attack that he's going to have the advantage, and then it's going to be back on Dewalt that's going to have the advantage. So he really needs to go right now, like what you're saying, with the 4 goons, 1 Zealot. But I don't see any movement, and I actually don't think he's going to make the attack because the Zealot is slower than the goon. So if you were going to do this, you would already need to be moving with that Zealot at least, and the goons catch up. So instead, Bonyth is just sitting on the high ground. I don't know what his intention here is because the way they're positioned.
Oh,
there we
I
go.
know his intention. The problem is we have the counter build across the map, Nyokin.
Yeah,
3-gate ops.
Well, I used to think that if you run into this build, you just insta-lose, but there's a player named Rain who has something like a 90% win rate versus PvP, and that's not an exaggeration. So the fact that that can happen, and he's run into DT a decent amount of the time, I think there is an actual shot that this could avoid the Observer, get in there, and disrupt the Econ. And the way Bonyth is playing, like, this looks like, hey, I'm expanding. So if Bonyth runs around to the right side, straight into the main, and then just holds his entrance, I think he could win.
He could. And the other thing you mentioned earlier is that the DTs do 40 damage. That's a lot. So if you can pair up all these goons with a couple DT versus just pure goon, and the DT can get onto the Dragoons, you'll melt the other army, right? Like you're going to need some really, really strong micro to get away from the DT.
That is something that I hadn't considered. Also a ladder game a while. Oh my gosh, he intercepts the DT so he knows it's there. Wow, it cannot be any luckier for Dewalt here. Now he's just going to retreat, and now he has a massive advantage. It is so expensive to go DTs in PvP. You really got to get damage done. And the fact that it's been instantly spotted, Dewalt, he knows he's in a good position.
Yeah, he's just going to sit home, let this army come into him here. I mean, Bonyth, if he backs up and doesn't lose any units and kind of defends his natural, he will have the big tech advantage. So, like, he'll be able to get to Storm first and have another timing in the mid game. But we have to get there. It doesn't look like Bonyth wants to wait, and he's looking at the bad news now.
Yeah, he is going to expand. Okay, well, he's going to engage. Alright, well, I don't think Bonyth can win this fight. Like, this is a lot of goons, and the DTs are just never going to get damage done. But he's going to continue to sit here. I don't know, but yeah, I think at least if you're going to sit here, you need to retreat to high ground.
Now, you know the best counter to DTs really is, Nyokin? DTs of your own.
Oh, DTs of your own?
But yep, but Dewalt didn't go that route because most of the time when the player builds DTs, they don't go with the Robo right away. And as you can see, Bonyth here, 4-gate, no Robo. So a lot of times if you just start your own Citadel, you can go and go into there and just kill them yourself. But Dewalt opting just to play Reaver here versus 4-gate. And like I said, Bonyth will have a timing here in the mid game as this just carries on a little bit because he has the Templar tech. He'll be able to get Storm, and Storm is a really good counter to Reavers, right? Like, it's hard to micro and fight with Reavers and Storm. So if he can just get a bunch of macro rounds out, get to that tech, he'll still be in a good spot.
Yep, Storm is definitely a game changer. You know, I was looking at this build, and if there was no Nat Nexus and there was 4-gate, I would have sworn that this would have been my own replay because this is my move, man. DT, oh, it failed. Okay, 4-gate goon speed zealot, but not going to be the case. We actually have a mid game in this game, and we're gonna have Dewalt attempt going into high ground. I don't know about this. Even though he does have way more goons, they're just way stronger in Bonyth's position. Okay, well, that's a lot for Dewalt, so he should be able to make this work.
Where's his Reaver, man? Get the Reaver over here, too.
Oh, okay. Whoa, look at that. Actually, Bonyth holds the high ground. I guess Dewalt did not have as many Dragoons as I thought he did. Okay, there's the Reaver. Yeah, I was also wondering, like, are we just Gateway Man versus Gateway Man?
This is going to get interesting here with Bonyth backing up. Will Dewalt look for that timing? But I don't think it's going to matter. As soon as Dewalt comes into the natural, he's going to storm everything. Like, the natural's not big enough to push into. Everything gets put in that arc, kind of where the pylon is. And then he'll be able to storm both Reavers, the Dragoons. So Bonyth's got to be feeling pretty comfortable here right now.
Let's go.
Yeah,
as long as Storm is finished.
Oh, yeah, that is... We're assuming it's finished, but I have seen a few games. I've even casted some pro games where they miss Storm. So I guess that is a possibility, but you're going to assume that he's hit that upgrade. Because if this is your whole game plan and you lack that, well, we could see a GG, very quickly. But the problem, I think, is, yes, maybe it's hard for Dewalt to bust the natural, but the main is just ridiculously wide open for Reaver drops.
Yeah, absolutely. If he gets the speed shuttle, he can really start pulling Bonyth apart here. Let's see. He's going to go down there and try to fire. Yep. Now, if this was a man named Snow, he would just go kill those Templar with the Reavers and run away. I've seen games where people try to go with this tech, and he's like, thanks. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he's saying thanks while he's laughing the whole time.
He's laughing. Yep.
This game might end. Like, okay, well, that storm's amazing, so I guess this game's not going to end. Like, I didn't realize we're going to hit 8 goons with a single storm.
I think we have one, maybe 2 storms left.
Gotta be careful. The Reaver is pretty low, and the shuttles, it doesn't have the most health in the game, and there goes one Reaver. But DeWalt's goon count is just so huge. He snipes a Templar. The storm is amazing, but is there enough stuff for Bonyth? It doesn't seem like it. The reinforcements just keep coming for DeWalt.
DeWalt's getting stuck on that pylon a little bit. That is what it's there for, to draw some of the AI of the goons. But we're pushing it anyway. I don't know, Nick. I think he has enough here in this choke to end this game.
Well, Bonyth killing both Reavers saves the day because, like, I'm waiting for the shuttle to unload the second Reaver, but it's just, it's already retreated. So I guess the second Reaver had already died and I missed it. But now, DeWalt is starting to kill workers. He's got 7 goons versus 4, so he'll win this fight. He needs to pick off that Templar. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, if he gets another storm up, it'll be good. We're pulling the boys. The probes are out. They're angry from last game, trying to trap some of these goons.
Yeah, it seems like Bonyth is going to push this back, but he took huge amounts of damage. He lost all of his high-tech units, all the Templars. He's now just got pure Goon versus Goon Reaver. He's got a ton of gates. Jeez Louise, that's 7 gates versus just 4. But he doesn't have the money to be able to support all this.
Yeah, we lost a lot of probes in that engagement, right? Like, the damage was done. Even though Dewalt couldn't end the game, he did so much eco damage, like you said. So, we have 2 Dragoons rallying in. Nope.
Well, you gotta be careful. I don't know about this move from Dewalt. Actually, yeah, he's gonna lose that shuttle. See ya. And he's gonna lose the Reaver too. But the Scarab, or he gets off 2 shots.
Oh my goodness!
Actually, okay, I thought he was gonna get off a 3rd, but at least those Reavers do get some good hits. But yeah, moving in with a hurt shuttle like that, what does it have? What did it have? Like 25 health? I mean, you're just asking for it to get picked off.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. Unfortunate for Bonyth, a lot of his shots from the Goons just missed on the high ground.
Yeah.
Goons, just terrible units out there, you know? Just unbelievable.
Well, look at the supply somehow. It's pretty close, 86 to 81. I saw that the probe count looks actually decent for Bonyth at the natural. So I don't know if he has rebuilt them or he transferred from his main. But if Dewalt cut for that timing, you know, actually Dewalt may not be in as big of an advantage as I was anticipating.
Yeah, a lot of high tech here from Bonyth. I don't see his Nexus blinking anymore, so I'm assuming we're just going to go for it. We're going to 8-gate, YOLO in there, go for it. Either we win the game or not, because he's not remaking any of the probes. And on 8 gateways, you could do a build like this, especially because he has such a pretty big tech advantage here. Speed lot, Templar versus Dragoon, speed lot, Reaver, you know, it's going to be a micro fight, which he likes. He's got 2 to 3 storms on each of these Templars, so he might be able to push through right here and win the game.
Yeah, I actually like Bonyth's comp better. I like the fact that he's got Speed Zealot. He's got a lot of Templars, and, you know, okay, there we go. There's actually Speed Zealots for Dewalt too, so maybe not. I thought it was just pure Goon Reaver versus this, but not going to be the case. Will he go for it, though? He saw the shuttle, so now that could be dicey. The hot pickup on one of the Reavers, but the other one's dying. The Templars, can they get off all the storms? Oh, he gets 2 Templars with it, and there's a lot of Zealots left over for Dewalt, so I think he will hold this.
Yeah. The Zealots, not only did they get hit by the Reaver, they got hit by some of his own storm because he stormed the Reavers as the Zealots went on top of it, so those Zealots got melted by all the splash and AoE damage going on.
Yeah. I saw Bonyth now starting to rebuild his probe count, but right now he needs units because that fight did not go in favor of him. He lost not just all his Zealots, he also lost all his Templars. So he's got to rebuild those, he's got to build up the energy, and I don't know if you can afford that money to be building into pros right now. You just got to have a lot of stuff because you know Dewalt is going to attack pretty soon. He's even starting to build Archons to soak up those Zealots that he knows Bonyth is building.
Yeah, I love that play there. The Archons are just massive in the comp, right? You can go with Dragoon, Archon, Reaver, and just the heavy Zealot comp, you can just crush it. So Dewalt making all the right moves right now in terms of his army comp to adjust to Bonyth's. But I just don't know. With him taking a 3rd, does he ever really have to even attack? I think maybe he'll look like he wants to attack in posture and maybe send a shuttle in to do some damage to the probe lines, but I don't think he's on the timer, especially with him taking a 3rd base.
Yeah, and I did see that Dewalt has +1 weapon. I don't know if Bonyth has +1 weapon, but I do know +1 is actually a breakpoint in PvP. That is a lot of Archons. That is so many Archons. But you know what? There is an observer. I didn't even see it. Here we go. This may be the last battle. The Archon's so tanky here, plus the Reavers, plus the Zealots and the Goons. Look at the storms. I don't think you could ask for better storms. But does it matter is the answer. There's so many Zealots and so many Archons just pushing through here.
Yeah, so much damage those Archons can soak up. They're taking so many hits, allowing the Zealots and the Dragoons to do damage as well. We see now that Bonyth is backing up to his 3rd. Dewalt just pushing him with this Reaver. Pretty big. Oh, he gets the shuttle, but this might not be enough here. Another big shot there for Dewalt. And behind this, Dewalt has his 3rd going. He's transferred probes. His economy is booming. So any kind of trades here in the cancellation of his 3rd is going to be really positive for Dewalt.
Yeah, Dewalt doesn't even have to attack anymore. He can just sit here and say, hey, you're not getting a third base, so I just win because I have 2 versus 1 since the mains are going to be mined out in just a second. But instead he is going to push, and that's another great Storm. It deals so much damage, even kills the Archon. I mean, the Storms are covering everything. It's just Bonyth just doesn't have enough to defend.
Yeah, Dewalt just kind of bullying him, you know, it's eco advantage, just kind of sending units in. I mean, he's got to be a little bit careful. We can't just
Yeah.
send our entire army to death, but he should know with his main mining out, that Bond's main is mining out. He's on 3 bases. He's in the driver's seat here. As long as nothing silly happens, he can take this game.
Yeah, like supplies again went in favor of Bonyth just temporarily. Like if this was 5 minutes ago where Bonyth didn't just lose his third base and Dewalt made that move, you know, actually Bonyth would be probably winning this game. But the fact that the third base is already up for Dewalt, the third base has been denied for Bonyth. Bonyth is still on the back seat. Now, what I like that Dewalt is doing is you can see on the right side, he's like, okay, dude, why are you not out of this game? Like, you know I have a third base. I just killed your third base. Are you hiding something? So I like that he has an observer patrolling the right side to make sure that, hey, I don't lose a game that I should never lose.
Yeah, he's just, you know, checking all the boxes, doing his scouting, doing what he needs to do. I'm like that he hasn't tried to like push for a 4th base either. I think a big mistake a lot of people make is they try to take a 4th base as well or try to get ahead even further. He just needs the unit advantage. He needs to sit in the high ground, get Templar tech for himself, and he can just close out this game.
Yeah, you know, sometimes if you take too many bases, you just lack units and you can end up dying. You know, a long time ago, I was talking to Rhett, like, because Rhett has such a good big macro. I know he could take like 6 or 7 bases, and he would always stay on 4. I'm like, dude, why don't you just take more bases? He's like, well, you can't saturate them, so what's the point? But we've got another huge attack here. I actually think the Bonyth can defend this, and Dewalt, I think smartly, is going to retreat. Oh, maybe not. I didn't realize that he's got Storm also.
That was a massive storm there, Iokin. My goodness. And a Reaver coming in as well. I just don't see where... Oh, my goodness. Another fantastic storm. 2 fantastics. 3. Bonyth. Wow. Just not enough. Incredible, but not enough.
Yeah, the Storms, literally, I don't think they could have been better. They're just hitting every single goon every time he casts that Storm. He even... like, look at this. Bonyth has 59 supply to 97, and he's actually pushing this back. Again, Dewalt is going to be denied the victory. It feels like it's just a matter of time. Here come the Zealots, finally going to reinforce this, and now, with just 1 Zealot or 1 Archon, 1 Templar, this should be GG.
Yeah, Dewalt has done it here. He's finally broken through, attacking the Robo with the 2 Zealots. Bonyth here just checking, looking around, see what's going on. Sees the third base fully saturated. But still fighting on, man. He's fighting on.
You got the Robo, man. So you can spam DTs now. There we go. GG.
Yeah, I was going to say. GG is called. It would have been funny if you just made like a round of 8 DTs, like I killed your Robo, so here, you don't want to leave? Here come all the DTs I could ever make. But well played again from Dewalt, man. I mean, this happens sometime in PvP, right, where you pick a build, you do it, and your opponent just goes to counter build. Like, there's really nothing you can do about it. So, unfortunate. He recovered well. I think he had a timing in the mid game if he would have been able to go with the Zealot, Dragoon, and Templars, but just Dewalt was able to get a bunch of Zealots out himself and then win that fight. And that was all she wrote for this game. But 2-0 for Dewalt, man. 2-0 for Dewalt. I don't know if we thought that would be the case.
Yeah, Bonyth is just so good versus Dewalt historically. I did not expect it to be 2-0. I will say this, though. If I can hit Storms like this, I know Bonyth's Reavers are great, but those Storms, I think, are even better than the Reavers. I would just go Templar every game, because it almost seemed like the
Of course you would, Niobe.
Yeah, it almost seemed like...
you would.
Like, I'm being reminded of the Artosis, you know, TTS, like, you know, Artosis, the blue shields, like, it almost seems like they're not good for you. And I was getting, like, I'm seeing that in my head. I'm like, Dewalt, standing in the storm, it doesn't seem like that's good for you, right? Like, because he wasn't even moving at all. He was just eating all of it.
He was trying to catch it. You know, he likes to dance in the rain. He was trying to do his thing.
Well, game 3, Invader. This this could be, a quick one. I feel like we could see proxy gates here, whether it's top middle or mid right proxy. We could see in base 2-gate. Actually, I think if somebody goes for that, I think it's going to get scouted. Dewalt pulled that out, I think, in back-to-back seasons, actually. Maybe not just versus Bonyth, but I remember seeing people proxy gating in the main.
I'm not sure if I know he's definitely done it before. Maybe not versus Bonyth. And I think both players the last time on this map both diligently scouted their entire base for that not to happen. I could see DeWalt proxying outside maybe on one of the low grounds, right outside the naturals, and fighting there. The only thing about DeWalt doing it is that Bonyth's micro is so good. Like, you got to make sure you are on point. Practice this, because to go up against Bonyth in a micro fight could be difficult.
Yeah. It was that 3-player map a couple seasons ago. I can't remember the name, but he proxied it in Bonyth's base. Bonyth didn't see it, but he still held it. I couldn't believe my eyes that you can't see, that you don't see it. You're on one, I think it was 1-gate, and he held it. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll have to rewatch that game. But I feel like this is a very important game for Dewalt here. Obviously for both players, but for Dewalt here especially, because if he wins here, he's going to be up 3-0. And 1 game away, but also since Shooting Break is Bonyth's map, let's just assume he wins here on Shooting Break, right? If Bonyth was to win on Invader also, all of a sudden scores 2-2, right? And then you're playing a best of 3 versus Bonyth, and I don't know if I want to be in that scenario.
Yeah, I think DeWalt would like to really get the leg up here right now, right? Try to really close this out to go up 3-0. Then you can do something tricky. You can give something a try on Shooting Break if you don't want to play it out. If you lose on Invader, like you said, now all of a sudden you got to say, all right, I got to play a little more standard, a little more what I want to do, because it's not going to work out.
Yeah, so it looks like, I guess, there's a break between the games, or maybe players looking at the replay or something going on, because we're not going directly into Game 3. But Invader, even though we talked about proxy gates, is that even a common strategy you find on the ladder?
Honestly, I don't see it as much on Invader, because I think the distance is pretty far for your probe. I do see a lot of, I know I like to do like a 1-gate proxy, where you just harass the mineral line, you try to get a banner pylon or 2, you harass as many probes, get them, and at home you build your own gateway count up, along with your probe count, so that you can just get an eco advantage. And if the player doesn't respond correctly, or they go 2-gate, you can kind of decide. So a 1-gate proxy I find is way more common than a 2-gate proxy.
Okay. Yeah, because even though I've seen a decent amount of Invader games, I was trying to think, like, how many times have I actually seen 2 gates, at top middle or in my main? It's not that many. I think you're right. It's more often than not, it's just 1-gate proxy or 1-gate pressure. Then, maybe you get lucky with manor pyloning, or for those of you out there that like to watch Future, an old school Protoss player from the US, he has this like mega manor pylon. He pylons, blocks you at the top of your mineral line also, and then as the probes go around the back, he pylon blocks again and locks in like 8 probes at once. It's devastating and hilarious at the same time.
That's So we're going to jump back into the replay from game 1 of the probe kills that we saw. Zero missed the shuttle fly in, so he wants to show it really quickly, and then we can see what exactly happened here with the transfer probe. So we're jumping into that game right now. And there's the empty shuttle that caused the probes to go away.
Yeah.
And we can see 43 probes now. Okay, what do you think that's going to go down to?
I'm going to say 11. What's funny here is Zero's also from Poland. Bonyth is from Poland, yet he still wants to see the Polish player just get absolutely obliterated here. Yeah, he's a masochist. Here we go. 43 to what? Show it to me. 11. Wow, that fight went longer than I thought. But here we go. This has got to be it, right?
This is the move.
Oh, 17.
My goodness. That's wild. And then we lose a couple more. So, wow. Zero really putting some salt into the wound there for those poor probes that we saw just get obliterated by 2 Reaver shots. Man, that's tough. But what a play, right? To send one shuttle in to evacuate the probe line, move some units, and then just go for it with your Reavers. I mean,
Yeah.
really well thought out there from Dewalt. Really good play. I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah, genius move. Something that uh, I guess I hadn't considered, but a lot of times when you watch a pro, you can sit there and nail their build order. You can nail the 2-1 timing. You can nail all the upgrade timing. But what you can't do is you can't do their movement and like drawing out of position. Like that's something that you only see from really high level players. Like it's easy to nail a build order, but to do something that looks simple like that is not that easy to actually do.
To think it out, to execute it, definitely another level, really hard. I mean, he sent that shuttle in knowing that Bonyth would make that movement and then jumped on it right away at the same time is just crazy, man.
Yeah, like oh, okay, we're ready now. Zero just wanted to get that title in. So we're going to be going into game 3. This is critical for Bonyth. Don't want to lose here, otherwise he'll be down 3-0. Okay, in the top left, he needs your energy chat, otherwise he's in trouble. It is Bonyth.
And in the bottom right, looking to take a real strong hold on this series, it's Dewalt.
Yep, and doesn't seem like either player going to be sending out an early probe, so all that talk about proxy gates, none of that matters, because this is just going to be a normal opener unless someone wants to, just build a forward gate out at your natural, but I don't even know if that's a thing in PvP. I just never see that.
No, you definitely can't do that. You open yourself up to a lot of problems with just pressure and losing your gateway, right? If you lose that original gateway in the front, you're just pretty much dead. So you can't do really a forward gate.
So, no surprise now, just have the pylon in the main.
Yeah, and I think on this map too, you're not going to see any 2 gates either. The distance is just too far, I think, for 10-12 to work. So I think we're just going to see a standard gas play from there.
Yep. We do have... Okay, there's the gate. I always think, like, could you get away with a 12 Nexus on the 2-player map? Yes, you get scouted fast, but I think a lot of times Protoss players, well, they know that, well, I know where you are, so I don't have to scout as fast. So that all of a sudden makes something like 12 Nexus, surprisingly, it could be good, but Bonyth, oh, look at this, Bonyth scouting around for the proxy gate. I told you, man. And also Dewalt doing the same thing. I told you, I had a feeling that they were going to at least scout for this because it felt like this was a map where somebody would do it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that these guys were like, have done it last time. They're like, I'm not going to have it happen to me. Because that's one of the most terrible ways to lose a game in a series is that someone put 2 gateways in their main base.
Yeah. There are a decent amount of map hackers on the ladder, and sometimes I'll get proxied at my natural, or I've only had it happen in my main a couple times on 4-player maps, and I'm just sitting there like, because I'm kind of hesitant to say somebody's like a blatant map hacker, but sometimes it's just so ridiculous, right? But yeah, it is a horrible way to lose.
We'll see if we have any manor pylons go down here.
Manor pylons deal a lot of damage, actually. Okay, but the Zealot's already out for both sides, and that's going to push back the probe.
Yeah, can we still get one? Oh, nope. Usually if you put one down after the Zealot's out, you cancel it because it doesn't have much life later. You get the win on the minerals there from the denial of mining and long-range mining, but not worth to keep it.
Yeah, definitely not worth the money, especially with the Zealot already out, where by the time the pylon completes, it's probably basically dead. Both players have done a good job to keep the probe completely healthy, like taking no damage at all, so they both get intel. Now, I will point out that Dewalt has way less gas than Bonyth. I don't know if somebody's faking range and actually isn't getting it, or what the issue is here.
I think the probe harass from Bonyth on the gas line pulled some of Dewalt's probes away, and that's why he does it, to try to get that gas intake higher. So I think that's the result from that.
Because, you know, it's not that 50 is a massive deal in PvP. It's just one goon. You know, it's not like Pvs or Zerg versus Zerg where 100 gas is, you know, a ridiculous advantage. But it is something that I noticed. I was thinking like maybe somebody's actually faked range and actually going weapon so that we can get another TT opener, but not the case.
Right, everything seems to be pretty standard for both players here. Dewalt looks like he wants to put the pressure on this time with his 2-gate. I wonder if he'll go 2-gate into just a Nexus and just no Bond's been going Robo. Like, will he finally try to abuse the no Robo scenario? Or if he's just going to play it out here.
Well, do you like this build? Because on Apocalypse, I could understand this. You know, it's low ground versus low ground. You know, there's not a ramp that you can fall back on. But when Bonyth sees that, well, okay, I can't hold my natural, he'll just back up into his main. Like, what's the intention here for Dewalt? Because he's never outright winning the game with this move.
I think he wants to push him back up his ramp so he can take a Nexus. The one thing about Invader is that there are a ton of ramps, so you can buy time with making Bonyth use his Reavers to slowly push and then try to engage him on one of the high grounds. So I think here he's not going to try to win the game, but he wants to be able to get see his Nexus is down. He's going to skip Robo, and then he'll just deny this base, because now with the Nexus coming up, as soon as he gets that influx of mineral, he'll be able to just run over Bonyth.
Well, I saw the support bay already done, so this could be straight Reaver, actually. No Observer. Oh, nope.
We'll see here. Dewalt, I think he went in a 4-gate, no Robo, man. He's just going to look to run over Bonyth. Oh, maybe that is a Robo. Okay.
He's got a goon advantage, but they got to all be here. He can win this fight, 6 versus... Well, okay. He should win this fight. How about I say that, right? You imagine you can win with a goon advantage. But there he goes. He pushes him back up the ramp. And since it... Oh, actually, it is Reaver first. So I don't know what triggered Bonyth to go Reaver first this time. But this was the right call.
Yep, he'll be able now to just stall. And now, I don't know if you know this, Naoki, but Reavers, not the smartest, greatest units of all time. That Reaver on the ramp, oh, it does fire. I was going to say, it may never fire. That thing could sit there and go up and down, up and down.
Yeah, I've seen a few games where they just bounce on the ramp and they're just like, yeah, I'm just waltzing here, don't mind me, and they don't fire at all. But look at this, the Waltz Nexus already done. He's got the 4-gate that you're talking about, and versus Goon Reaver, you don't have to have Reavers. You can just have an overwhelming amount of stuff, and that can be a victory for you.
Absolutely. You just wait for the army to come up with the shuttle, and you come in from 2 sides, and you just crush it, and the game's over. They could just never recover. So he's just going to go pure Goon here. I'm surprised. I saw Bonyth put down 2 more gates in his main. I thought we were going to see maybe like a 3-gate double Reaver and just go for it, because he knows that he's so delayed and he doesn't know what's going on Dewalt's side. But he changed his mind. He's just going to play it out from here. But he's going to be upset when he gets down there and he clicks on the minerals and see how much they've been mined out.
Yeah, well, we know what Dewalt's game plan is just have an overwhelming amount of stuff to defend the incoming Goon Reaver push. But if you're Bonyth here, what's your move? Like, you can't match the econ of Dewalt, at least not just yet, because it's been mining forever. Do you just continue to play normally, like go into 4 Reavers, or you go Citadel or Storm, or what's the move?
I think he has to just play it a little bit slower and try to push to a 3rd as well, because there's no way he can ever win a fight here, army versus army, right? So get the speed shuttle on the map. As you see, Dewalt has literally vision of the entire map. He put pylons, scouting pylons everywhere. But I think that's the way back in it for Bonyth, right? Can you Reaver harass? Can you get some eco damage done? Slowly get into your 3rd here, because you're just so behind. Like, I know he's only up like 8 worker or 8 supply right now, but you got to remember the Reavers are 4 each, and so is the shuttles 2. So that's 10 right there in supply. That's going to be 5 more goons. I mean, look at the difference.
Yeah, like that's a ton of goons. I actually thought that was a good move from Bonyth there to weaken 2 of the goons. He even almost killed 2 of them. Now look at this. you move your Reaver, I'm in there. How does the pro
Oh my
actually
goodness.
see this?
Oh my goodness. This is one of those tilting moments. You're like, what? How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I just moved.
Yeah. Well, these pylons are hilarious, but like Bonyth doesn't even know that he's already been spotted, but he has been. And Dewalt, well, I don't know about this. Dewalt has a lot of stuff out of position. Is he counterattacking? He can't possibly be doing this.
Why? Why? I don't know why he's doing this.
I don't like this. I think we're gonna have both players lose their natural, but I like Bonyth's army comp better.
Same. I mean, I just don't know how we're gonna hold this now.
Oh my gosh, that shuttle is so far forward, but he doesn't kill it. That means that the Reavers just get off the juiciest of shots. Has a single goon died for Bonyth yet?
I don't think so. And he's going to be able to hold, man, up his ramp here. I think with the micro of Bonyth, he'll be fine.
I also think he's going to be fine. Wow, he kills the shuttle, but look at the supply. He's lost so much supply. Dewalt, did he even evacuate his workers? I don't know. Both players lose their natural, but how does Dewalt get down his ramp now? Like, goons are, good on even ground, but now you're going to be coming down a ramp. Look how tiny the ramp is, too.
He does have those units from the natural coming back now to fight as well. So he'll be able to, I think, kill this army, but at what cost? I feel like we threw away a big lead. Maybe he felt he couldn't take the army of Bonyth?
Yeah, that could have been the case, but if you couldn't take the army, what's our strategy? Like, is our strategy just relying that Bonyth attacks us and we counter? Oh my gosh! How do both Reavers connect right when it unloads and he loses his Reaver instantly? That one Reaver is going to actually get taken down. Dewalt will clean this up and supplies are in his favor right now, but that was a huge loss.
Massive loss, and we see that Bonyth's natural is already going back up here, so he will take a little bit of an eco lead. Unless, I don't know how many probes he lost, though, Naokin. I didn't know if Bonyth evacuated his probes. I did see that Dewalt did evacuate. It looks like Dewalt's in a little bit of a lead here on the probe count. But when the next fight comes in, how do you kill 2 Reaver and Goons with just Goons and maybe a single Reaver? Yeah,
that's the thing is, there's still 2 Reavers for Bonyth. Even though he's down 16 supply, his Nexus is going to be faster. What? Double expanding? Dude, Bonyth has an observer. He sees you. Like, he actually, this game doesn't see it just yet. But this is so ballsy to just double expand versus a guy that has an observer.
Hey, you know what? I lost my Nexus. I lost my army. He has the advantage. Now it's time to double expand. Now's the time.
Now's the time, man. Now, if he does get away with it, obviously he's at a massive advantage. Because when both these Nexuses complete, the main will be close to dry. But I don't even know if we're going to get to that point, because here we go. You gotta save that, man. He does save it, and he actually gets a shot off. That's nice. Yeah, but now we're getting into the same thing as the Polypoid game, but this time Dewalt's the one defending. Again, I don't know if you want to be in this position where you're having a micro battle versus Bonyth.
Especially when Bonyth has a speed shuttle compared to your slow shuttle.
Yeah, exactly. But just looking at the amount of stuff that Dewalt has, yes, he's down a Reaver, but he has 5 Zealots, and Zealots are really good versus Goons. So as long as they can just avoid the Reaver, it looks like Dewalt has, kind of gotten into a good position.
Bonyth's going to hit this. Yes, he's going to just go over here and try to hit these units. Well done from him.
Well, couldn't Dewalt just hit the front? Okay, well, he's not going to hit the front now, but now we've got double Reaver for Dewalt, and Dewalt's up 20 supplies somehow, so really well done. And actually, this double expand is going to pay off because Bonyth still doesn't know about it. Like, all he saw was the pylon. Uh-oh.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Dewalt's in a spot where he knows that as long as he holds here, again, he is in a commanding spot. I mean, he's got 2 Nexus, right, that are working versus, I think that took a hit. Yeah, it did. He's got 2 Nexus working, mining with the 2 bases versus just 1. And I mean, I think he has the gateway advantage. Oh, that's a really big snipe. That helps give vision. Now he has to, bring his shuttle out a little bit.
Yep. Triple Reaver for Dewalt, though.
He just wants to hold, man. But you know what? The shuttle doesn't
gonna
hold
kill it.
3 Reavers. Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't
Yeah.
hold 3 Reavers. Doesn't hold 3.
Yeah, this is going to be hard to keep that single Reaver alive. Now, this I was actually just about to say, is I'd like to see Dewalt swoop around, cut off reinforcements, and try and come in with a pincer move.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not trying to just attack both sides of this and wipe this army. If he wipes the army, he wins.
Yeah, I think he might be thinking right
Oh
now
my
that,
goodness.
yes, he has double Nexus, but the econ advantage hasn't kicked in just yet. Now, what he can't do is he can't go back, or he can't push so far where he's the one getting pincered here, because he'll just lose all of these goons for free, really.
I think Bonyth is becoming wise to what's happening here at the bottom side of the map, because he's moving around,
Yeah, he
looking
saw it.
like he wants to bust this third Nexus, and he's going to. We do not evacuate the probes. We do not evacuate the probes. The probes have gone down, and now we're back in a weird game state again here.
Yeah, okay, actually, Bonyth retreats. I thought we might have base trade. Now, the problem is, Dewalt has no observer, so he doesn't know what the move is, but he's going to have an interception here, and there is an overwhelming amount of units for Dewalt. He's going to pick off the shuttle that isolates the Reaver. The Reaver shots have been immaculate, but they are going to die.
Wow. And DeWalt cleans this up and will take a huge lead here. He'll be able to take another double Nexus if he wants again. No, if that's what he deems. He could go Nexus here, Nexus at mid-right, and he's good to go.
Yeah, and to lose the shuttle and double Reaver really hurts now. Like, there is 5 gate for Bonyth. He is down 13 supply, though, and those 4 or 5 goons in the center of the map. They're still just sitting there.
The shuttle!
He almost loses that. Luckily, there was no observer for Bonyth, because if that was there, I think that shuttle would have died.
Absolutely, but oh my goodness, look how much red is streaming across. Oh my god, that's a massive shot. Oh, 4 goons down.
Yeah, and look at the middle of the map. The goons are still sitting there. Now he realizes, like, hey, you gotta come fight, dude, because I'm about to lose. Reaver is still alive for DeWalt, though, but there are a decent amount of Zealots. Good focus fire on the Reaver to take those down. But is DeWalt gonna be able to get through this?
I don't think he's going to
so.
win here. No, I don't think this is going to be able to be the winning move. Well, I'm surprised he didn't try to run away with that shuttle. Another big hit there. Oh my god, are there 2 more Reavers here? Yes, there are. Maybe this is enough to finally push and end this game. But DeWalt has a 3rd base back up, is rallying nonstop across the map, has 2 Reavers.
Yep, and we may have another strike hitting these probes in just a second, because there is nothing to help defend them. They are going to have to be evacuated into the main. There's a good hit right there. 6 kills. Shuttle dies. But at this point, it doesn't matter. This Nexus is going to die. There's no way that goons can save this base. A Reaver is going to try and slink across and try and salvage the Nexus, but I don't think he's going to get there in time.
Yeah.
Why is he up there? Where's he going?
The Reaver, man, they're stupid. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh, I'll go up. I'm not going to go out and fight. Like, we're only losing our only Nexus that mines mineral. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Oh, there it goes. And that is 400 minerals. Look at this. Bonyth doesn't even have 400 minerals, man.
I think we're just micro into micro at this point. We're gathering our thoughts. I mean, supplies are pretty even, but 2 mining bases versus 1 here. And DeWalt, again, is scouting the outside of the map, making sure there's no hidden base, because he doesn't understand why he has not taken his game yet.
Yep, like, this is just an unbelievable lead for DeWalt. 2 base mining versus 0. And it's not like Bonyth can attack and do anything. He can't even build a shuttle to harass with the Reavers he has. So he just got to accept that for, what is it, like a minute and a half to build a Nexus? A minute and a half, DeWalt just gets to mine freely on 2 bases, and Bonyth is long distancing his natural.
Yeah, I don't know if Bonyth realizes that that 3rd Nexus is back up. I think if he did, he would probably GG out right now, but we see that DeWalt just waiting, man. He's just building up, making the supply gap larger and larger, and then he'll crush this in 1 more attack.
Yeah, he has a ton of gas. He doesn't have a Citadel. Like, if he had a Templar Archive to just build mass Archon right now, that would be an amazing move. Probably just outright ends the game.
Well, know, DeWalt's going to go in here and see 3 goons and a Reaver, and Bond is so broke he won't be able to build Scarab soon.
Yeah. Well, this is a tall order. I don't know if this can possibly be done. Even if you're playing, you know, one of those micro maps, I don't think this can ever be a victory. Oh, okay, he gets the Reaver, but there's still so many.
There's the GG. Wow. So DeWalt is going to take a commanding 3-0 lead here. Nyokin going into shooting break. I mean, he's got to be feeling good. Hopefully Bonyth is staying focused and he thinks he can do the reverse sweep. And it all starts with shooting break. He's got to tell himself now, 1 map at a time. Let me win 1 game at a time to get myself back into this series.
Yeah, and DeWalt's feeling himself today. Like he's getting away with these Nexus plays. He's getting his econ rolling, and you know where Bond shines in the early mid game. You know, DeWalt is doing just fine. So if I was DeWalt here, why switch anything? I'll just play even with you in the early game. I don't even have to rely on my great macro play in the late game because everything seems to be working out today.
Yeah, I mean, if this is the map that he hasn't really practiced, which we doubt, if he did want to do something crazy, you know, you could do some kind of proxy gate or something, try to end the game quickly. But like you said, there's no reason. You're up 3 games, all your stuff's going well, you're playing well, you're making good choices. Why change it up here?
Yeah, but I think I have noticed this with some players. When they get a lead like this, they do kind of get wild. They do try something on the 4th game or the game deciding game. So I actually think what I would like to see here from Bonyth is the 3-gate ob. Because I think the chances of DeWalt getting wild kind of high, like going DT, doing some type of storm drop or some shenanigans like that. So I would like to see Bonyth actually just play safe here and then take a Nexus and maybe win that way.
1 base carrier incoming Nyokin.
Oh, okay. If you go 1 base carrier and you end up winning the game, I don't care what the scoreboard says. I don't care if the scoreboard says 6-1. If that 1 game wins, in my rule book, you win the whole series.
That's it. You're the BSL champion if you get 1 base carrier.
Yeah.
Zero just sends you the trophy automatically.
Yeah. It just says on it, you win BSL. It doesn't say what season, doesn't say your name, just you win BSL, all of them.
You are the Bombastic Starleague champ, all time, greatest. First team, all Bombastic.
Well, I will be sad if this is a 4-0, because if we look at the bracket, like starting from, the semifinals on, basically every single group, it's like 3-2, 3-1. Like they were surprisingly close. Yesterday was 4-3. We had a 3-1, and there was the opening game of Ziki versus DeWalt. I actually thought Ziki was in a spot to take it. That could have been 3-2 also. So I hope we don't have a blowout here because, the past few rounds have been really, really close.
Yeah, we've had a lot of really good series here, especially in the bracket stages, but definitely tough. And I think hopefully Bonyth can take this game and push the series on, because these are 2 of the best players in the scene, and it's always good to see them mix it up when stuff is on the line, right? Like these aren't just practice games. These are for real, so they're putting their best out for us here.
Yep, and with this screen, that means that our players are ready. So let's get into potentially the final game. DeWalt looking to close it out 4-0. And in the bottom left, he's on a rampage today. It's DeWalt.
And in the bottom right, he's been on the receiving end of the rampage. It's Bonyth. Poor Bonyth, man. Crazy good player. Hopefully he'll be able to pull this game out here and get it rolling back the other way.
Yeah, now something that I also didn't consider, I was talking about I want to see somebody 3-gate ob. I forgot that you spawn on low ground here. This is a map like Requiem. It's a map like, was it Jade a long time ago, where if you don't have an even goon count and you can't hold your natural, all of a sudden you're pinned back into your main. It's going to be so hard to get up that ramp. So I actually think 3-gate, maybe even without Observer could be a good build here.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you can just push someone back, you're just in such an advantage, right? It's so hard to get up the high ground if it's like that. I mean, there is a second ramp. I'm not sure how that would help you, but I guess you could try to fire from the other side, but there's really no way to get out. I mean, that is interesting about this map, though, right, is that there is a third gas available at your natural. So if we get into a mid to late game, will we see someone actually use that third gas? Like in every game, DeWalt's been going with this 12 gas, man.
Yeah, you know, as a non-Protoss player, I also 12 gassed every time, and then I watched like a game and like a pro game, and they were gassing on 11. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you can just do this. I guess you just have the money. You don't ever have to cut for this. Like, that is also something I notice, is because this is again another 11 gas from Bonyth. You know, I don't think it's a massive deal, but it is a slight difference. Now, something that is different this time is we actually have DeWalt scouting pretty fast on a 4-player map. He is also going for the cross scout again, which is unusual, but we're going to have an interception, and Bonyth is going to think that DeWalt is top left. But that's not the case.
Yeah, and DeWalt will know that Bonyth is bottom right because he sees the probe going to top left. So that's really unfortunate again here for Bonyth. Just can't catch a break, man. Just can't catch a break.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like DeWalt actually built the Zealot this time, so the probe should still be able to get in, no matter what. But Bonyth, he will get into position with that. No, he won't. He's going to move out. Or
You gotta remember, he can mine out. He can mine through the eggs to go down the other ramp if he really wants to.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. I think DeWalt probably forgot about that also.
Yeah, so if he really wanted to get this scout in, he could say, you know what, I could go buy the eggs, I'll go through, and that's it.
Okay. Let's see. Nope. I guess something that he didn't think about, but that's going to be a perfect scout from Bonyth. Gets in before the goon, sees it as a 2-gate, and
No zealot too, so he'll know it's going to be high pressure. Right? He didn't make the zealot, so his gateway's even a little quicker.
Yeah, so what do you think is a good counter to 2-gate? Because this feels like it's the same build as last game, which is 2-gate Nexus.
Yeah, I think he can go. He could put down 3 gates if he wanted right now. Right, he could add the other 2, cut a probe, and then you just wait for an extra round of goons to out macro the 2-to-1 ratio you had before. Or you just go 1-gate Robo Nexus. I mean, you could also do that. The only problem is, like you said, this is a reverse ramp. So, like last game, getting pushed up your ramp and coming down is hard.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind the 3-gate here.
Oh! Ooh!
Citadel. But see, the thing is I think that this could be Robo, because I don't think you can hold your Nexus versus a 3-gate. So because of that, the likelihood of this being a Robo is quite high, and that's what it is.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, the timing here is going to be close, but DeWalt should be able to delay. I have seen Bonyth do a build where he goes from a bunch of like goons with range into 2DT and then presses in. I wonder if he'll go for that, kind of like an Apocalypse, where he does have a high pressure build that he does use. We shall see.
Yeah, this is not looking good yet, though. And did Bonyth get range? Like, the goons, I don't think they have range. So this looks like probably DeWalt already knows that something weird is going on, because you don't.
Oh,
no.
My God, that.
Oh, it gets away. It gets away. Oh, he's in. Yep. He's in. He's in with the probe.
He's not gonna see.
He doesn't see.
He didn't see. But,
yeah, but
the issue here now is the high pressure. Like, he's gonna have to use these DTs to defend, I think, because of 3rd gate. A 4th gate too?
But see, I think DeWalt already knows. Like, dude, you have less goons than me and you have 2-gate. Even if he didn't see the blur here, I think he already knew. And yeah, this could be 4-gate all in. I don't think you can transition this into a Nexus. And we do have the Observer coming out, and this is going to be basically right on time. Look at him body blocking, buying some time. Takes a lot of damage there, but I don't see this being a killing move.
So yeah, I think this is going to be the build we see from Bonyth here, where he's literally just going to go 3-gate. Oh, gets it one. I mean, this is going to be close now. Like I said, the DPS from these DTs are just so high, man. You fight together with an army, you can take it out. See, one Dragoon goes down.
Yep, 40 damage, man. They hit hard. They hit real hard, but it's now 3 goons versus just 2, plus the zealots in the back.
Zealots, yeah. Oh, man. He does have 3 gateways, so he can continue to pressure. DeWalt going into Robo, so he knows that he's safe from his DTs himself. He's not going to need cannons. He can just continue to produce. He does have range now.
Well, that was actually a big pick-off. Getting that zealot makes it even harder to push up the ramp. Because DeWalt was scrambling to get out a single observer, I think he missed his support base, so there's no Reaver coming anytime soon. And with it being a 3-gate... Okay, we've got DT.
I told you the best counter to DTs are DTs. Have your own invisible men.
Well, I'm going to love this move because you show the Reaver...
Oh my goodness, he has a Robo. How does he know?
I don't know. I think showing the Reaver makes it look like, hey, I'm just playing Goon Reaver. Haha, don't get observers. But Bonyth suspects that this could be coming. Now, let me ask you this. Does Reaver shoot through the eggs?
I think so.
You seen that move? Yeah, I think so too.
I haven't seen that move, but I think that's the case. I mean, it shoots to the minerals as it is. Ooh. Yep.
Okay, that's an interesting feature that I didn't even know about. So all of a sudden, this map is actually really cool in that sense. If you come too close, you're gonna get punished by this bad boy sitting in the back.
Wow. Well, we have a lot of goons here for Bonyth.
There's still no shuttle.
Nope.
Oh, this is ugly. This is gonna be ugly. Those are some juicy positioning of the goons. Is there enough for Bonyth to get through? Answer seems to be no. A second Reaver, so he's really selling it that, hey, it is just Reavers, don't get detection.
Yeah, you may even see Bonyth skip the observer man.
He did.
Yep, he might skip it because he's like, well, you got 2 Reavers, like you can't have DT too, can you? You're not allowed to have both DT and Reaver. Is that allowed other than in PvT?
Yeah, you can't one base Ob, Reaver, Shuttle, DT. Like, that's impossible.
That's not allowed. Zeros, as we speak, is diving into the Bombastic rulebook to make sure that this is an illegal move here. DTs and Reavers.
No. There's still no observatory, man. He's got the Forge, so like he knew that DT could be a possibility, but the fact that he's built 2 Reavers just really sells it. But oh, look at this. Is that another observer? So actually, despite having the Robo, I thought he was going to build the Robo, go Shuttle, and go DT. Oh man, this is so dangerous to just walk a DT by because the blur could have been spotted, but he missed it.
He missed the blur. Oh, he just looked back there and didn't see it. And then he's going to use these Reavers to take his attention as he just sneaks the DT into the main.
Yep.
So Bonyth will be focusing.
Oh, man.
Maybe this Dragoon will get caught. Oh my god, he didn't even body block it. He's moving all of his units to fight in the middle, and this DT is about to wreak havoc. One-shot master.
He could hold position on the ramp with the second DT. Yeah, and you don't get the alert for these kills either. So Bonyth has to be looking at his base to realize this is happening. This is a heartbreaking way to lose.
And he's looking at his army because he wants to fight. And I got bad news. All right, maybe after one. Nope.
This is it. Bonyth has to win here because there's no follow-up to this. The Reaver unloads, gets off a good shot, actually does a lot of damage, but he has to win the game with this. It can't just be killing the Nexus. Those are good Scarab shots from the wall. The Reaver, one of them dies. Shuttle dies for DeWalt. The Shuttle's still alive for Bonyth.
The problem is he's just going to make DTs, man.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of probes left over for Bonyth. He actually saved a decent amount of them. He has 2 goons to deal with the DT. Now that was really good micro from DeWalt there. Oh, but he didn't shoot the Reaver. Reaver, it is gonna die to the probe.
The probe, is he a hero? He's a hero.
Oh my God.
Hero probe.
No.
Oh, no.
There's
another DT.
Single or 2 DTs win the game. There it is. GG.
Oh my goodness.
4-0, man. That's a devastating way to lose, especially to the DT in the end. I think the attack was great. Like, if that DT bounced off the goon on the ramp as the DT walked in, I think Bonyth might have saw it. But the fact that it didn't bounce and get, bounce back into the main, oh my gosh, that hurts.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was able to see it, he could have recovered at least a little bit. But to just have that DT wreaking havoc, and in the second one, he actually hid behind the natural. So when the observer caught the first one, he sent the second one back in. Wow. So Dewalt, in just unbelievable fashion, takes this 4-0, and that's pretty crazy because Bonyth is the master of PvP. He is crazy. He usually does have Dewalt's number, but today Dewalt came ready to go. But outstanding performance from Bonyth through this whole tournament. Well done from him, and sad to see him exit. But we have a really interesting final now, Naoki.
Yeah, we got Mihu versus Dewalt. You know, everybody knows I like Dewalt. Of course, I like Mihu because he plays Terran, and you know he's an actual god with his TVZ and TVP. This is going to be a very, very good series, I'm hoping. You know, I think a couple seasons ago there was that epic game on Sylphid. I think it was actually game of the year for me, that one between Dewalt and Mihu. It was so close, so I have high hopes for this.
Yeah, I mean, their series last time was insane. But, I mean, I'm assuming this time it's going to be even better. Dewalt will look to try to make this a big win for him, and he wants to take it down. You see in his stats a lot of second places over the last couple of years. He definitely wants to take this one down, man.
Yeah, and I think this is like the third time Dewalt has faced Mihu in the finals. Mihu got the best of him both times. Mihu almost died yesterday to Bonyth. In fact, it could have been a 4-0 for Bonyth, but Mihu had the crazy recovery. But you know, beating Bonyth in TVP is not the same as beating Dewalt in TVP. I'm not saying Dewalt is better than Bonyth. That's not what I'm saying. But their styles are completely different. So the scoreboard, even though Mihu beat Bonyth, and you could say Bonyth and Dewalt have great PvP, I don't know if Mihu will be able to take down Dewalt because his PvP is very strong.
He's someone who can play all the styles, right? PvT. He can play Shuttleman. He can play Arbiter play. He can just play Storm Drop. He can play in a DT. Like, he has it all. So his late game is crazy. You know, I see him streaming all the time. He's playing against players like Brush. You know, like he's getting games with ASL level Terran. So he is going to be well versed and well practiced for a series like this.
Yeah, and I recently casted a game of Dewalt versus Royal in the StarCraft TV Starleague. No spoilers there, but I'll just say this. It was an epic game. So if you're having good games versus players like Royal, that just tells you the level of play that Dewalt is at. But Mihu, every season he gets better. The first time I saw him, see him 4-fact, I'm like, is this just the Chinese 4GG? Because 4GG is strong, but all 4GG can do is timing attack. I'm really loving the fact that he's not just 4-fact man anymore. He does the upgrades. Yesterday he had the killing moves with the 5-packs into the double expands. Really impressive. But yeah, that is our finals. Oh, we have an interview with Dewalt, I guess. Oh, and Bonyth. Okay. I guess. Okay, so the players are joining, and then we'll get into the interview with Dewalt and Bonyth. Get to hear their thoughts on how that series went. Obviously, you know, not great for Bonyth, but I wonder if it went as expected for Dewalt because, you know, after losing to Bonyth 3-2 in the semifinals, can't imagine he would have thought that he would win 4-0.
Yeah, I'd like to hear his take on how he kind of re-prepped for this, knowing the history between them, you know?
Yeah.
Cleaver Combat is sub at Gosu for 16 months.
All right, so we're going to thank our Patreon supporters before we get into the interview. So all you Patreon supporters and supporters just in general of the BSL, thank you so much for the continued support. At the $100 level, we have Star Lover and My Fleeting Dream. $50 Striker, Believe in Zero, Hash Fuzzy. $30 Tim, Cuz, Tupacalypse, and Niantic. And at $20 level, we got Voltina Bulai, Kevin JC, Suricata, Bryce Bates, Cork, Steven Robertson, Medino, Empyrean, Daniel Lopez, On My Way, Gordon Bradley, KJ LML, Scheming Gypsy, and all you other Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the BSL. Remember, $10 or above, you get all the replays of BSL. So we should have the players joining the call in just a second.
Snake, a couple interesting features there for shooting break, right? I didn't realize about the Reaver behind the eggs. That was pretty wild for me today. Oh, I think that we have our players are here. Ah, Mr. DeWalt, hello.
So,
I mean, I would say, how are you feeling? But you must be pretty happy, pretty excited. Did you think that you would have this success today with the 4-0?
yeah, sure, I'm happy. It's always great to be the winner, and especially against such a strong player as Bonyth. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's not doesn't matter if it's 4-all or 4-3. It's just a win. Win is win.
I definitely hear that.
It must be nice to get revenge for the semifinals. Talk to us about some of your strategies, like game one. Oh, actually, a couple games you're going pretty fast Nexus after your 2-gate or 1-gate Robo. What was the logic for that? Like, we didn't see many 1-base play, we didn't see 3-gate, we didn't see DT from you.
Well, fast Nexus is a pretty strong strategy nowadays, so I decided to go that. Like Bonyth had a great success with this strategy last time he played, so I just tried to use his winning strategies. That's pretty much it.
Well, to you, Bonyth, of course, today didn't go as you were expecting. What was your strategy specifically like on shooting break? Because we saw you pick shooting break yesterday with the 2-gate. You picked it again early in the series, so you must have had something special planned. Were you able to execute your strategy on that map? Did you have to improvise?
It's for me the map choices don't mean too much to me because I've got 7 maps, and out of these 7 maps I need to win 4. I don't care about the order in which I need to win this. So the order I could just roll add dice, and that would be just as effective for me. I would go for 2-gate as well, but Dewalt's probe stay there for a little bit longer. So I didn't want. I wanted to just go for robotics. But given that I saw 2-gate, I decided to opt for DT instead. Maybe could have adjusted the build a little bit better, so I could fight Dewalt's 4 guns better. So maybe there was a strategical mistake from me.
Yeah, I said the only thing disappointing for me, Mr. Bonyth, is that we didn't see the 10-12, man. That's like your patented PvP build, man. That you're like the grandfather of that build. You executed so well. Why didn't we see that get pulled out?
I wanted to keep it for Retro or Secret Breaker, a 4-player map. Shooting Break with the reverse ramps wouldn't be a good choice. What was there? Invader wouldn't be a good choice. Apocalypse wouldn't be a good choice either. Polypoid, if it's cross position, it wouldn't be a good choice either. So out of the 4 maps, I think it was just in the first 4 maps, it just wasn't good to use there.
And I was waiting for it on retro, to be honest.
Dang.
So, Dewalt, how will you start to prep for the next stage? Big matchup, tough opponent. What will be your starting point for that?
Well, honestly, I don't know, because my VPN works really bad those days, so I don't know if I could get some practice with strong players. Maybe I'll ask Scan, maybe I'll ask someone else to play, but it's pretty laggy with Koreans, so I don't know. Maybe just play some ladder, watch some Mihu replays and games against Bonyth. So I couldn't catch them yesterday. So maybe I'll try to with that. Start with that.
It's the third time. I think it's the third time you facing off versus Mihu in the finals. Do you think it's finally your time, not just to beat Mihu, but also take the championship of BSL? Is season 17 your time?
I hope so. I hope so. Well, I'm feeling pretty confident, especially in PvT, honestly. So if everything works well for me, it should be it. Should be my season.
I don't have any other questions. Raz, what about you?
No, anything that the players want to say after their series? I know Bonyth, you'll be exiting
I
from
have
the
one
tournament,
question,
but
guys. I have one
oh,
question.
Mr. Zero
Yeah,
coming in
okay,
hot.
I'm
He wants
unmuted.
it. Get in
I'm
there.
unmuted and I have super awesome question. Maybe Bonnie have some advices for the world before facing Mihu after yesterday. What he should be careful
This
for, or maybe what he should look for.
the styles between me and Dewalt in PvT are two vastly different, so no point. Let's see, what did Mihu do? I don't know, maybe Mihu played specifically that way against me, but kind of like pointless goon aggression early on, as he'll have siege after mines most likely. So delayed speed vultures. Dewalt will see that in VOD.
Okay, sorry guys for jumping in. No interruptions anymore.
That's okay. Anything else the players would like to say before we end our cast here?
Well,
thanks for everyone who cheered for me, and thanks Bonyth for good games. And that's it.
yeah, yesterday was pretty painful for me. It's like I couldn't sleep. Like the time I went to bed, I was like it still hurt for like a good hour before I finally fell asleep. Other than that, thanks for the support, guys. Well, what can I say? I need to get good and hope to get stronger next season.
I'm sure you will. You're already really good, but I'm sure you'll get better when you're with your practice, man. Well, congrats to you on your run. We look forward to seeing the games for you, DeWalt, next weekend. And thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you. Zero, thank you. We appreciate it, everyone's support, and we'll be back at it next weekend with the grand finals.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.